Pinterest. Pinterest's share of overall visits increased 66% last year, which was the most of any social media network, and it now drives more traffic to publishers than Twitter, LinkedIn, Reddit, and Google Plus combined. The users of the site are comprised of between 70 and 90% women, depending on the study you look at, and they're mostly upper middle class, so they have a little bit of money, you know what I'm saying? And they're usually on Pinterest for one of two reasons: to find inspiration and to shop. As an entrepreneur, you can take advantage of both. Pinterest can help any brand, whether your focus is on men or women, because you can post any picture related to your product, including infographics, charts, slides, anything you want. And the great thing is that 80% of pins are repins. So you want to start creating original material, because every original pin that you post has a link back to your site, which is going to drive traffic when people repin it, build up your email list, and ultimately boost your sales. Basically, when most people log on to Pinterest, they take a look at their news feed and then they repin stuff. They don't really create their own material. So you have a really big opportunity here to promote your brand. Okay, so how do you create a board that people want to follow and repin? In general, tall photos are going to look bigger than wide ones on Pinterest, but not so long that users can't see the repin button when they get to the bottom of your image. You can see on the screenshot here, if you have a really long image, when you get to the bottom, because the pin button or the repin button is at the top, they're not going to be able to see it anymore, and they're going to be less likely to repin your image. So you're going to want to crop your photos before you put them up there. Make sure that you can see the whole thing without scrolling down. And while you want to stand out with your photos, you don't want to make things overly complex or put too many details into one post. And you want to post what you're familiar with. If you put something interesting up, tell everybody why you think it's interesting, or ask a question. You could even put a close-up of something related to your category and ask people what they think it is. You can turn it into a contest. Really, you just want to generate conversation. It's going to lead to more followers and more people repinning your posts. Consider creating boards that are as niche-y as possible. So, for instance, cars would be way too broad. But if you focused on Lamborghinis or Ferraris, you'd have a much more dedicated fan base, and you'd probably get a lot more repins and more exposure. Just don't overpin, because people will stop following if you overpin them. It's like spam. There's also things called group boards, and these are sometimes referred to as community or shared boards, and these are boards where multiple people can contribute. This is a great way to meet other people who pin similar material. It increases your exposure, and it allows you to engage with people who could ultimately become customers. You can use a program called Board Deck, and that's boarddeck.hq.com, and this will give you metrics like analytics about your group board followers, collaborators, total pins, the number of repins, the creator, and their last updates. So you have a better idea of your board's purpose, its popularity. Really, to join a group board, you just have to reach out to the creator and ask them. In terms of getting followers, according to a study by the University of Minnesota, the top 3 factors in having a large number of followers are the number of people that you follow. Okay, so I follow you, you follow me kind of thing. The number of original pins that you create, and we talked about that, and the number of boards you've created. Okay, so those 3 things: the number of people you follow, the number of original pins that you create, and the number of boards you've created, all lead to more followers and more business for you.